Hello everyone. How are you? How goes it? Hopefully everything's going well on your end, on my end. Oh, wait. Audio. Whoops. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Cool. Everything should be fine now. Maybe, we'll see. Except for the fact, I'm supposed to be leaving to Poland on Sunday, and I don't know where my passport is. So after this live stream is over, guess what I'm going to be doing? Running around frantically to try to find my passport. That is what I'm going to be doing, because I don't think I've traveled internationally since I've moved. And that's going to lend itself to a fun little game of where did it go. Anyways, let's focus on other things. So, live chat. Hello everyone, how's it going? Good to see all of you. It's been way too long. Apologies for that. I completely forgot to rearrange my live stream schedule based on the holiday season. So for the past several weeks, when everything was like offline for holidays, there are no live streams. And I didn't move it to a different day, which I should have done. And then next week I'm in Poland, which means probably no live stream. We'll see. There's a possibility I might be able to. We'll see. But I would expect no live stream just in case. In fact, next week I might do fewer videos. I don't know. I want to start getting in the habit that when I travel, I do fewer videos. I want to get in that habit. The part that's weird is I do the videos in advance for the most part, so it's not always a big deal if I miss something or skip something, but I'm going to try. I think maybe there just won't be a to-back or not-to-back this Monday. That is easily the most work that goes into any video. It's a lot of work, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Anyways, keep us updated on the passport search in Discord. Okay, let me go ahead and pop this open. We're currently on live chat, which is good. Pariah, hello. Mike, finally got one of your favorites to the table. Endless Winter, pretty decent solo mode, and a heck of a puzzle sequence together, but I think it handled okay. Any thoughts on the solo mode? Never played it, can't tell you. Never played the solo mode, played the game a lot. Walter, eagerly awaiting Lukey Live, hope to get in, join in live instead of watching my TV for once. Walter in Toronto. Yeah, Walter, I don't know if I see your name a lot in the lives. I see your name a lot of other places. I don't know if I see them in the lives. We have Ali Guru, hello. Brian, good afternoon. Hello, campers. Hello, Brian, how goes it? James Sullivan, good afternoon and happy All Hallows Day to all. That's right, it's Halloween, isn't it? It's I don't really think about that stuff as much, but it is Halloween. I'll go ahead and get my pumpkin head and put that on. Brian, good afternoon. I guess this is suitably like Halloween adjacent. I think it's okay. James, good afternoon. Happy All Hallows Day to all. James, hi friends. Brian, it's way too long. James, Brian, hello. Everyone, all of you, hi. How's it going? Okay. Walter, we can hear you loud and clear. Sadly, no George today, unless he's streaming in his new classroom. Yeah, kudos to George. Happy for him. Keep us updated on the passport search. We will. Hope to get some nice teasers for 2025 after you visit ARHQ. So this is primarily a GameFound visit. While there, I do plan on visiting Awakened Realms, because the last time I visited GameFound was 2 years ago, and I meant to visit Awakened Realms, and just things got too tight at the end, and I didn't do so. So I plan to do so this time and see how it goes. I believe that was actually... I just gone to Steamforged for Elden Ring, and I went from Steamforged directly to Poland. From England to Poland, because that's easier. And then wards. We need wards. And then, oh yeah, I visited GameFound, and I did not get to visit Awakened Realms. I remember that. Because I remember filming my first impressions of Elden Ring in the GameFound offices in the background, which I got some comments on, but I thought that was just where I was. So my options were that or a very, very, very tiny room. Anyways, so yeah, I plan on visiting Awakened Realms while I'm there. I hope to be diving into Lands of Evershade while I'm there. I actually have the prototype already. I didn't do an unboxing. Why not? I don't know, I think I have too many things that need unboxing that I'm not as in a rush to do everything. So like, I still have the Stalker All-In that I need to unbox and want to unbox. Like, that's a game I'm excited about. I remember playing it, enjoying it. So I do want to dive into that, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, yeah, so I do plan on enjoying it. I plan on bringing my vlog camera. I should probably pack. I'm leaving Sunday morning, and I have nothing done. But that's usually because outside of my passport woes, I'm usually not worried with traveling. I travel so much at this point that I just do it. I just go. I figure it out. Give me an hour and a half. Outside of the passport, give me an hour and a half, and I can be ready to go. All right. Let's see. Joey, hello. Hi, everyone. Pariah, Swab Me, George, watch later, I'm sure. Solo mode, Terraforming Mars, New Automa. I have not gotten to it. I'm getting to a lot of things. I'm playing a lot of games. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm also playing Factorio again, because I got back into it with Space Age, but whatever. But I am getting a lot of stuff done. Just not always... The problem is when you want to play 15 things and you only play 5, you did play 5 things you wanted to play. You just didn't get to the other 10. That is basically my entire life in a nutshell. It's wanting to do a whole lot of things, being able to do a lot that I want, and not getting to a lot that I want as well. So the Terraforming Mars Automa, not a chance, unfortunately. Ideally, if luggage was less of an issue, I'd bring it to Poland with me, because I assume I'll have some free time in Poland, just because, like, evenings, unless there's a party every evening, like, I'll have stuff, there might be a party every evening, we'll figure it out. But I go to sleep late. I need things to do between, I don't know, 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. in the morning, and if it's not videos, it's probably going to be rulebooks and Factorio. Okay. Brian, hello. Marty, how do you like your new place? I love it. I mean, the biggest thing for me easily is just that the basement, which is my workspace slash gaming space slash everything, and studio, obviously. So I work there, I film here, I now game over here because it's a longer table, and it's just a larger room. Like my old place, as soon as things got cluttered, you couldn't move. Over here, things still get cluttered because things come in, they go on the floor. I mean to put them away later, and then as just time goes on, stuff kind of builds up around me. But over here, it's still got plenty of room, so when you have a few boxes on the floor, it's not like, oh, how do I move anymore? I like it. I like it a lot. Thanks for asking. Prior, need some Lands of Evershade blogging or me smuggled in a suitcase? I don't know if you'll fit in my carry-on. I might bring an actual suitcase. I don't think I have an actual suitcase. I think I only have a carry-on. To me, I travel with a backpack and a carry-on. Like, whoever needs more than that. Brian, how is your Tidal Blades unboxing? I don't have Tidal Blades 2. I need to reach out to them. I should be getting a copy, but I don't have Tidal Blades 2. Mike, with all the games you play, what are the top 3 games in your Shelf of Shame opportunity? Ooh, good question. So, this is obviously off the cuff. Don't take it with too much meaning. I guess it also depends how you define it. What are the top 3 games on my Shelf of Shame? Oh, and I call it a Shelf of Shame, by the way. I always call it. I don't believe in the Shelf of Opportunities. I believe in Shelf of Shames. Meaning one of 2 things is true. I don't know. No, it's a Shelf of Shame. Anyway, let's focus on the answer. What are 3 games that I really want to play? I would say Minos from Board and Dice. Minos is high on my list. I want to play that one a lot. Stalker I want to play, but I'm not going to get to right now. Definitely Minos. Outside of that, I'm trying to think, because like a bunch of them I have. Like I have gotten a bunch of these played, so I'm trying to think of the ones I want to play the most. I don't know, I'd have to think about it. It could be Stalker. Stalker is one that I really enjoy. I remember I was very sad when Stalker showed up, and I knew I had such a full schedule I couldn't get to it anytime soon. I'd have to go look. Like my Shelf of Shame is in the other room, so like I'd have to walk around and get to it. So I don't have a good answer right now. But there's a lot of games that I want to table. What else is there? I want to get Undaunted. I've still been trying to get Undaunted 2200. I mean, they could argue the Terraforming Mars Automa. That's high up there. There's a lot. There's a lot of games. I'm getting some of them played every day, but not enough. Not fast enough. So, I mean, what games will you bring with you on the plane? How many rulebooks? Games. I have to think about the games part. I have to just look around and figure it out. Probably not a lot of games. There's a few small solo games that I'll bring with me. I don't need to bring, even though I have space for it, I don't need to bring a whole bunch of big games. So I'll probably bring a bunch of smaller soloable games that don't take up that much shelf space or not, luggage space. As far as rulebooks, that is a whole mess. I need to get a filing system for rulebooks. I have so many rulebooks at any given point. I mean, probably Minos, probably Wondrous Creatures, probably Undaunted 2200. I might bring Undaunted. If I'm going to bring one game, maybe it's that one. Because there's like a whole solo mode. I want to play that. Or Mass Effect. Both those could be good. Like, I might bring a bunch of small games and one medium-sized game. Again, I just need to keep myself busy, which shouldn't be hard. But yeah, I think rulebooks can be a ton. Absolute ton of rulebooks. What games will you bring with you on a plane? How many rulebooks that you're dying to get to the table? Well, yeah. Pariah, did you get a preview copy of Vestige? If so, thoughts on it? No, I did not get a preview copy of Vestige, but I will be playing it. You will not be able to get my thoughts, though, until... you won't get my thoughts until later. But you will get my thoughts before the campaign closes, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, Vestige, you'll have thoughts on Vestige. Just not yet, because I haven't played it yet. So, about me, how's level up planning coming? No comment. It's coming decently enough. Things are going well overall. There's a few things that I just need to really, really anchor in on. I plan on doing it next week, because again, the benefit of being gone in Poland means a lot of my other things that I do while here will not be done while I'm in Poland in a different country, and I'm not at a convention, so it's a different vibe. So I do plan on doing some of my evening hours towards level up while I'm there, because there's some things I just need to reach out to a lot of, mainly the play to wins and hot games. I've only done a few reach outs so far, and I need to start that process to start getting those in. So, Emmy, are you and hubby coming to level up in PAX? No, I don't think they are, unfortunately. At least last I heard, they weren't. To either, I believe, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Tris, is Star Wars Academy worth as a starter deck building game for an 8-year-old? What is your rating for the game? Yes, in my opinion. It's on the floor right now in my games to review. My son wanted to review it with me because he's played it several times and he really enjoys it. He, for context, is, I think, 9. I always forget which number line they've passed. He's either 8 or 9, the one in question. A few of them have played, but the one in particular really likes it. Tavi, if you've seen him on the channel. He wants to review it. I think it is lighter Star Realms. I would never own it if not for the kid factor, but the kid factor does make it easy to play. Like, my 5-year-old has played the game, and he's mostly understood it. So, like, I think it's a good game if you want Star Realms. If you want a good intro to deck building, I think it's an excellent one. My personal rating on it would be a 3.5, but it's always hard. I've always had a hard time rating kids games because my rating scale is based on my interest in playing the game, which means it's very hard for a kid-friendly game to exceed a 4. A 4 is like already like very strong because inherently you're not catering to my interest as much, but I have a hard time rating something as the target audience. Like, oh, if you're a kid, it's a 5. Like, I have a hard time with that. If you look at some of my first kids reviews, like things like Core Quest and Creature Comforts, I think I did give those 5s at the time, which I absolutely take back. Not their fault, but I was trying to rate it from the perspective of how good is a kid's game. But it's tricky because my rating system has an actual meaning. And putting myself in the shoes of, ooh, as a kid's game, it's great. And that's also unfair to some other kids' games that are actually good. Like Baron Park is like, I have to double check if Baron Park, I think Baron Park is a 4.5 for me. I don't think it's a 5. But Baron Park is a kid-friendly game that I rate a 4.5. It's one of the few that will break out. So like it is hard, but I think that, anyways, point is the answer to the question was 3.5 for Star Wars Academy. But I do think it's really good for a kid's game. Not this year, daycare costs are killing us. I get that. Big Boss, hi Alex, what's your thoughts on Titans Behind You? I would love to play it, along with a whole lot of games that I've never gotten tabled. A long time ago, the very first Mythic Mischief, way back when, I remember going to Ivy Games with the rulebook and the game for Titans. Like, I was hoping to table Titans while there. Never happened. And time has passed, time has gone on, still never played it. I want to, just haven't gotten it done yet. James, if I'm not mistaken, you still owe us a tour of the new gaming space and studio space. You're not mistaken. I had plans to kind of deal with all my games and put them on the shelves while doing a live stream, and I was so bogged down in just trying to make everything happen that never really happened. I ended up doing things bit by bit instead of like all at once. I did film a video of this space that was supposed to be, it was a campaign game purge. I have 2 videos coming. I have to figure out if it's now going to be 1 video. But there were 2 videos that were planned. I filmed them both. One of them was going around my entire collection and choosing and looking at the campaign games, trying to decide. And then the second one's like a recap of, okay, here's my decisions, here's what I added, here's what I changed. Because I had this whole goal for the video. The mistake I made was the audio, not mistake I made. I went to after, one of those was filmed in the traditional setup here, another was filmed on my vlog camera. The one filmed on my vlog camera, the mic was not plugged in properly, and so there's no audio on that entire video. And that was both a studio/basement tour and a campaign game purge that I'm still trying to decide if I refilm it, because the problem is that video was like a process video. It was about me deciding what to keep and what goes. So it's a lot of me pulling campaign games off the shelf and being like, I don't know, I'm trying to get to at least 10 purge. Do I keep this one? Do I not? And so to refilm that would have me simulating my decision space, which I don't like because that feels fake to me. So if I do it, I'll have to do it differently, because I don't want to like be like on camera being like, I don't know, do I get rid of this, do I not, when I already decided because I filmed the videos. So yes, there should be a video like that coming at some point soon. I just need to think about, it would have already gone up by now if not for the fact that I still been deciding how do I handle the fact that I'm missing a video. I hate it when I miss a video. I hate it, like, not miss a video, I hate when like something goes wrong and I've lost a video. Because again, to me, inherently, whatever you film next is either trying to copy what you did, which I don't like, or it's trying to be new when you already decided how you're approaching something. And neither of those are fun for me. Joey, I'm up for Minos anytime you get back. That is the one I'm most confident with on the rules. Undergrove is the other one that should be good to go. Cool. Let me know. We can make a plans. I wasn't sure what our plans were. Were we trying for like all day game days for a few days in a row? Because we can certainly do that. Or were we planning for, or even just not even a few days in a row, like here and there, like an all day game day? Or were we just trying to do game nights? Because either one is fine with me. Mike, never been to level up, but considering it, what should I look forward to there? Playing games. Mostly playing games, ideally with a small enough group of people that you'll be able to build connections pretty easily and not be too intimidated, but a large enough group of people that there's lots of people. Like, this is one of those conventions that's in the 300 to 500 range. We are capping attendance this year at 500. Last year we had like 440, and it did grow pretty heavily from year 1 to year 2. We'll figure out if it goes from year 2 to year 3, but we're just capping attendance because of the location we're in. And if we exceed that attendance, we might switch locations next year. Meaning if we hit the 500 and need to stop sales, we'll probably switch locations next year. If not, we'll see. But yeah, playing games mostly. Have you done a review on ARCs yet? Wondering what your score would be. I have not done a review on ARCs. I don't plan on picking up ARCs. If they send me a copy, I'll cover it, but I don't plan on picking it up. I just, for whatever reason, I'm not interested in it. I've heard great things about it, and I'm just not interested. If people are still talking about it in 2 years, we'll try it then. Joey, I'm up for either all day or some nights. We can figure it out. Walter, what do you think of Civolution? Paul Logan called it his #1 game of 2024. Well, I have a copy coming, so I'm happy about that. I want to play it. I like Stefan Feld in general, so anything from Stefan Feld is a game that I do plan on trying in some way, shape, or form. So I'm excited for it. Stefan Feld in general is an interesting one because so many of his games are amongst my favorite games. Castle of Burgundy's, Bruges, more than those two. Amerigo's great. Bora Bora, which is now rethemed to, what's it called again? What's the new Bora Bora called? I can't remember. Cusco, we have that. We have the Oracle of Delphi is great. So he's had some really solid designs that I've really enjoyed, but he's also had some that were just great games that I didn't feel the need to keep. I don't know which one Civolution will be. Him and Uwe Rosenberg are both designers that I always want to play everything they put out, but I know that some will be winners and some will not be. Steph, I might have missed it on one of your videos. Did you complete the Isofarian Guard? Are the other campaigns as good as the first? No, nowhere close to it. I do complete or play through campaigns, but they are so infrequent as far as my ability to actually fully complete them is hard. There are a bunch I'm still in the middle of. I'm still in the middle of Agamonia. I'm still in the middle of Primal again. Primal's actually round 2 though, so that's one there. But the amount of campaigns I fully finish is infrequent. The amount of campaigns I give lots of time to is a lot. And I don't know what to do with that. I don't have a good answer. This is not a problem unique to the board game space. It's been a problem in the video game space too. But I just play for the goal of having fun with it. And if I happen to finish it, great. If I happen to not. Legacy games are more interesting in the sense that for every reason, legacy games I finish a lot more. And I don't know why that is, but it just is. JB, have you played Compile yet? I think it might be up your alley since you like Airland and Sea. I did play Compile way back. So I played Compile. When I was at PAX Unplugged last year, I want to say. But there was a prototype at the time. They were still deciding between crowdfunding and retail. They did go with retail. I have a copy on my shelf that I got at Gen Con, but I still haven't played it since then. I know I enjoyed it. I don't think I was as wowed by it. Like I saw Shut Up and Sit Down definitely gave it a strong review. People in general have been enjoying it. I remember my first play of it, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like Airland and Sea to me, and people seem to be comparing it to like that genre of like that level of good. So I'm excited to dive back into it. I may just not have been able to, I don't know, maybe it was a prototype thing, maybe it's that it could be a personal taste thing, it could be a prototype thing, or it could just be I need more time to fully enjoy it. Like, some games do take longer. Like, Airland and Sea I enjoyed my first play, but it only got better the more I played it. So I'm not sure which direction that will be, and we'll have to find out at some point. That is where we are on questions. I think I'm caught up on questions, so let's figure out what to talk about in the meantime. So, right now, so I played Western Legends, so I have a few things that are currently on my to-table as soon as possible again. So I played War Stories a few times. It's called War Stories? No. Is it called World War? World War. I think it's called just World War. I have it somewhere on the floor somewhere. I need to film it. But either way, that's one that is from the creators of Hegemony, and I've played it a few times now, and I'm looking forward to it. I still want to get another play in, but once I do, I'll probably be putting out a review, so hopefully next week we'll see if things go well. But I want to get one more play of that one in. But I've been enjoying it so far. There's also Revenant from Mind Clash, which I got half a play in and really enjoyed, but I want to play it more because, again, half a play is not quite a review. I basically played the first 2 rounds as a teaching round out of a 4-round game. So I got a full half play in and want to table that one again. That's actually one that I have the rule books over here, so if I don't get it played before I leave, which I don't think I will, that'll be one where I'm clarifying and brushing up on the rules on the way to Poland. Then we have Western Legends over here. Western Legends Stories. This is one that I really enjoyed my starting round of it, and I played it through again partial game to learn it, and now I'm excited to dive back into it. I like the original Western Legends. This one to me seems like a better, more exploratory game, kind of Legacy adjacent. It's not really Legacy because you can reset things, but it's Legacy adjacent in terms of the feeling. You're unlocking stuff as you go. I really enjoyed my partial play, and I'm excited to dive into it more and see how things develop in it. I'm already sad that the prototype does not have the full game because it's basically starting a Legacy game, sort of. Again, not Legacy because you don't destroy, but the feeling is going to be a Legacy game because you're unlocking stuff, and I'm going to be starting that and then having to wait a year and a half for the game to show up and play that. But those are things that are currently high on my list. Monumental African Empires, the unboxing for that's going up later today if you want to see that. That one's currently set up. My kid's been playing with all the stuff. He loves Monumental, the miniatures, so he'll be playing with it shortly. That's kind of a loose general aspect of some of the things that are on my radar. I don't know if I want to play African Empires right now. I want to play Monumental again. It's been a while. I might grab the rules for that. Maybe I'll grab the rules for that so I can table that when I get back. I'm not bringing Monumental with me. That's insane. That's way too much stuff and miniatures to throw on a flight. In fact, Undaunted is not really miniature heavy. I can do that. Okay, just thinking which games I can bring with me. Let's see. Alex, for your campaign purge, you could always voice over the video and describe your thinking decisions, not as paused, but it isn't wasted. I thought of that, Brian. I would rather, first of all, too late now, video's deleted, but also I thought of that, and that to me was even less ideal. I might just go with like, I don't know, I still haven't figured out, and I'm not happy with any of the options. I just feel a voiceover video, because it's not like it's not me showing the games in the background, it's me looking at me. So a voiceover would be like, you'd have me talking to the camera, and then I'm just completely talking differently, like misaligned. I feel that would be like the worst. If it was more looking at the shelves, sure, but it was more me doing this and looking at the camera. Mike, no, Alex, wait, back. Steph, thanks for the answer. I know the problem not finishing campaign games. TIG, Frosthaven, Monster Hunter, Sleeping Gods are still unfinished. I have finished some. It's just I finished Legacy games pretty consistently, but in terms of actual campaign games I finished, it is rare. There's a handful of them. Jaws of the Lion, Wild Ascent, more that I'm not thinking of right now. I've definitely done more, but I can list a bunch that I've gotten a decent way through. Decent just defined, to me, decent just means like I've spent like, let's say 20 hours plus in it. So I can point to a lot that I've given 20 hours plus in my life, but straight up finished, it's not a huge number. Chris, Alex, have you played The Fog Escape from Paradise yet? It's an excellent game for me, and I think many people aren't familiar with it. I can't remember whether I played it or got an overview of it. I back when they were launching the campaign, I definitely got showed it by the designer, but I don't remember if I actually tabled it or if he was just showing me how to play. Ultimately, I wasn't as interested in it at the time, but I don't even know if I played it or just it was... I don't know what made me say no. I can't... It's so long ago. It's like 3-4 years ago. I don't remember if I played it or just wasn't interested. It looked puzzly and intriguing, but art for me is a big part of a game, and I definitely wasn't pulled in by the art. And I know from experience that even if I like the gameplay, if I don't like the art, I'm probably not going to table that game. There are some exceptions, like Castle Burgundy, the original Castle Burgundy, I always thought it looked very bland. Terraforming Mars is always obviously whatever. So there's definitely exceptions to this rule, but the vast majority of games where I don't appreciate the graphic design or the art, I usually do not table. And I would say it's more graphic design than art. I can usually get past bad art. I don't love getting past bad graphic design. I haven't looked at The Fog in a while, so it might be amazing now. But I remember when I was covering it as a prototype, I remember thinking the art and graphic design felt very prototypey. Mike, when you're working with designers companies, how much do you emphasize feedback on rulebook design? I hold Raising Robots as a great example of excellent rulebook design for a small publisher. I don't, so when I first started covering prototypes, I used to give a ton of feedback, a ton. Like there are games that exist now that are on your table that I know have changes because I gave a lot of feedback, which is going to directly undermine my next point, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So I used to give a lot of feedback. I used to try to be very helpful to designers. I used to be like, here's what I played, here's the things I think you should know from me to you. And over time, I stopped doing that because of a combination of two things. Getting busier, but then more importantly, more often than not, feedback was ignored, and often it felt unwanted. Like the amount of times I would give publisher like feedback, and I'd even be like, hey, like feel free to use it or not, and they'd be like, there'd be like a visual aspect where they're like, how could you tell me what you want to change about my game? And it really started to feel like the vast majority of people didn't want and wouldn't incorporate feedback. And that kind of burned me out on it. Now again, I said I'll know my point because I know there are games where my feedback has been taken into account, but maybe it was 10% of the time, maybe 5% of the time, it was not a lot. So like, at a certain point, I just got burned out of like, why am I trying so hard to give you useful advice just watch the review. Like, I don't care at this point. Like, if you're not gonna, and it's unfair because there are some who actively want that feedback, and I still do give feedback, but now it has to be asked for. So if they ask me for my thoughts, I'll give them my thoughts, but I usually don't try to give it without being asked anymore, because I'm like, and there are exceptions, I'm sure, but for the vast majority of people, just didn't seem to want it, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I need to rush to give you opinions and advice that I think will help you if the most of you seem offended that I'm trying to help. And I will say, I was never the kind of person who, was trying to shove my opinion down your throat. I was always very like, hey, use it or not, completely up to you. I think that despite that, there was a visual aspect where people seemed to resent the feedback. And then at a certain point, even though I say that, like, oh my gosh, I remember one game I covered. I like the game, but I remember telling them, as like by all means, as like, please, 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 do not put a 3-point token on the back of a 1-point token. Like, please don't do that. I remember telling them that. I was like, this game is great, I liked it, but like, I'm just hoping this is just a prototype thing. Like, please don't do that. That one I was not as shy about that one. I was like, straight up, like, I was like, please don't do it. It's terrible. Like, when you flip a token, if I have like 8 points in front of me and I knock some tokens, I no longer know how many points I have, because the ones and the threes are the same, on the back of tokens. And the final game was printed, and the ones and threes were on the back. So, and I remember, like, I was so bothered by that, because I was like, I tried to help. I tried to give you opinions there. Anyway, so that's the short answer there. I picked up Monumental for just $15 because Alex has been praising it for years. I saw that. I wanted to buy Monumental for $15 given the price point of it, but I already have it. And just to be clear, I have been praising it for years, but I think it's a 4 out of 5 for me. I don't think it's a better game. I think the production definitely elevates it. I do enjoy the gameplay. It's been a while since I played it, but it's a good game. It's one that's still here, and I haven't gotten rid of it. But it's the kind of game that I could play it a few times and be like, you know what? There's better games now. I don't know yet. I remember really enjoying the game and thinking that the table time was too long. And I solved that mostly by playing with 2 players, but it's been a while since I played, so take it with a grain of salt. Kevin, I gave my Monumental pledge away because I was so upset with FunForge. I hear that. I do hear that. There are Monumental didn't do that for me. There have been games where like Chai Tea for 2 is a good one. I have no interest in ever playing Chai Tea for 2 again. I just don't. Even though I like the game. That's one where the company kind of burned me on that. I think I was never as upset with FunForge as many people were. And I don't think that people being upset was unreasonable. I think that FunForge kind of went with the whole everything's okay mantra for a long time. But for whatever reason, I don't have a good explanation for it. I just was never as upset. I think I didn't follow things enough. I didn't follow like enough of the stuff going on. I was like, whatever, they'll show up when they show up. They're not trying to charge people. They could ask for money. They're not. I'm not trying to justify what they did. They definitely were in the wrong. But I just don't think I was as bothered. Chai Tea for 2, on the other hand, those people, I will never work with them again. Kong Truong. I like playing Acquire. Can you suggest similar board games? Yes, Captains of Industry and Indonesia. In that order, because Indonesia has a lot to take on. But yeah, genuinely, Captains of Industry, Indonesia will both give you some of those vibes. Walter Mack, did you finish Tonight's Adventures? I know you did a long-running series in it. No. In the process of moving, I was doing a video every 2 weeks, and then I moved, and I never went back to it. And I need to get back into it, because I'm supposed to be finishing a campaign. But I just never got back to it, and I need to do that at some point. They're long gameplays. They're like 3 hours long, and I need to mentally prep and do it. It'll happen, but I just need to get back into it. Mike, I don't have many campaign games under my belt, just the Crew and Vegan Song, and any you recommend as approachable ones for someone looking to try and dabble a little more with campaigns? An approachable campaign game. That's an excellent question. Legacy I can do for sure. So like My City I think is an excellent Legacy game to start with. If you're looking for a campaign game that's approachable, Stalker is not bad, actually. Stalker is an excellent game, and they keep the campaigns short. They keep them in those 10 to 12 hour range, so they're shorter. I think even Primal is accessible as far as the length of the campaign game goes, but it's just an expensive game, so is Stalker for that matter. If you want something that's going to be accessible and not super long, you could try, and a cheaper price point, you can try Arkham Horror the card game, or Marvel United. Marvel Champions, but you have to get a campaign expansion for Marvel Champions, so there's that. But yeah, try those out. I think those could work for you. Mike, Walter, I wish you could tell us which creators don't welcome your honest feedback. These would be great campaign games to avoid. I understand you can't, but I'd honestly like to know. Maybe something for your Patreon Ko-Fi members. No, so I wouldn't do that for several reasons. First of all, it's been so long since this was relevant that I'd have to like really think through. So there's a mental homework aspect assigned. But I'd also say that I don't know if I resent anyone for their stance. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. It's not, meaning I'm one person. Okay, I'm one person playing a game. And if I play your game 3 times and I come back to you and I'm like, oh, this, there's a reasonable aspect of, okay, I've played this game 50 times. I've done it with playtest groups and sessions and I've run it through the ringer and you come back to me after your 3 plays and you tell me what I think I should change. Like, that's a reasonable stance, which is why I've always tried giving feedback under the lens of, I'm one person. Take it into account if you want, or don't. But more importantly, I recommend if I had a problem with this aspect of the game, I recommend you check with others to see if they did. Don't just jump into it based on what I'm saying. But again, like, I don't know what they're doing is. I don't know what their process is. I know I've talked to people who, like, I've clarified that things felt unbalanced, and, like, they're like, oh, well, the math works out. I'm like, okay, cool. There's a great article by Johnny Pat Canton. He talks about how if players feel the game is unbalanced, it doesn't matter if the game is balanced. It does now. If there's one player who feels the game unbalanced, it doesn't matter. Ignore that. But if 30% of your players feel it's unbalanced, you can math it out from today until tomorrow. It doesn't matter. I remember there was a creator this creator I thought was a little silly. Most of the time I don't resent creators. I'm like, listen, you got to do your thing, and I just personally get burned out on trying to give advice that isn't incorporated. So now just watch the video, do what you want. But there was a creator once who I worked with, who I remember telling him that. I'm trying to be vague here. I remember telling him after the game felt boring. And he's like, oh, well, you should do this, and this, and this, and this. But the way you're doing is inefficient. I'm like, okay, that's totally fair. But, like, I felt there was an action that I was taking that was very repetitive every time I played. And everyone I played it with. And I know another creator who played it who had the exact same situation. They felt it was a very similar vibe as far as we all felt that something was a very boring, monotonous action. And he's like, no, you should be doing this, and this, and that would work. And so this is not a valid complaint. And I was like, hey, like, I hear you. None of us chose to do that thing. So you're saying there's a pathway. I guess the way I'd put it is there's a pathway from A to B that felt very boring. And he's saying, oh, that's not the ideal pathway. And I'm like, sure, but everyone I know who's played it and another creator who's played it have all felt that was the ideal pathway. So the ideal pathway felt boring, and you're saying there's another more interesting pathway. I'm just telling you our experience with the game was boring, and I'm not pulled in that direction. And I know that the specific issue I had with him is I know he got that feedback from several creators, and so I was like, why are you not taking this into account? But either way, people can do what they want. Brian, Alex, I'm seeing a trend of creating dual versions of big games. Monumental, Black Rose, Aquatica. Thoughts on the concept? Why are you asking about this? Because I just commented on this in my week in review that will be going up on Saturday. And I talked about it because of Res Arcana. Res Arcana Duo just came out, and you didn't mention Res Arcana, which is why I'm intrigued which one prompted you. Could be Monumental. Thoughts on the concept? What game would benefit from that type of version? I don't know. I think it's an interesting concept. It's just a way of getting more sales by saying, hey, 2-player version of a game. Sometimes it's done really well. Sometimes they don't. I think it's a gimmick. It's no different, and a gimmick doesn't mean it's bad, but it means that you're trying to leverage the success of something else to sell something else. You can do that with expansions. You can do it with dice games. You can do it with roll nights. You can do it with Duo. It's just leveraging the success of something established in order to have that name presence on a game. I think it's an okay concept. It just depends on if the game's good. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Jacob Justice, random opinion, Dune Imperium's intrigue cards and Andromeda's tactic cards aren't good for the game. Do these great games need these cards that are either useless or crazy overpowered? I like the intrigue cards in Imperium. I hear where you're coming from. I don't think it's a crazy point, but I like them. I enjoy them. Chris, Alex, are you planning to name your favorite games of 2024 at some point in the future? I know Unconscious Mind is one of the top games of the year so far based on your review. I'd have to get Unconscious Mind in front of me and play it again before it was eligible. I'm not going to list it in my top games 2024 based on playing it 2 years ago. But that said, I am planning on doing my favorite game of 2024. I actually put together the list a few days ago, but the list is tentative because the year's not over. But I actually put together, I was like, oh, I think these are the games of the year for me. And that will probably go up either late December or early January. There's always like a kind of desire to rush to the gun because like you get your videos out before people have watched everyone else's. I don't know if I'll do that or not. Like there is views, the pressure for views is a real thing. If I do top 10 games of 2024 after 15 other creators have done theirs, you get less views. But then the other alternative is you're not covering the full year. So like we'll see what happens. I don't know yet. Mike, I forgot about Ireland, the campaign legacy list. Love that one. Kevin, Monumental is what broke my crowdfunding trust and habit. Only have one outstanding game left and it should be here by December. I hear you, Kevin. Jacob, just had a really bad luck with tactics cards and Drama's Edge while my opponents were getting cards essentially guaranteeing them wins in every single battle. Jacob, I think your viewpoint is reasonable and valid. There's a weird game design challenge as to how much do you prioritize balance versus how much do you prioritize fun. Because in my opinion, one of those has to come at the expense of the other. Now, you could have a game that is well balanced and fun, but I think there's some of the chaos you can get from these really fun moments does come from a lack of, well, this equals 2 and that equals 3 and it balances out across the game. So I hear your point. Fierce Giraffes, do you think Ivy Studios with balance tend well? They certainly seem to be putting in their work to it. I know by the time they printed the prototype, they had already made changes to the game. By the time they had played the game, they had done the game, printed the prototype, made changes. And then by the time I dove into it, because I dove into it with them online to play it as well, and by that time they had already made more changes. So they're certainly putting in the work to try to approach it as much as possible. As far as will it balance well, I don't know. It seems decent. I don't know. I tried different strategies. If it helps, I've tried different strategies every time and gotten roughly similar scores every time. The problem is my scores should be getting better and they're not. Duke Johnny, I'm late. Sorry, tons of work. Alex, any chance you got your hands on the Lands of Evashade? Super excited. I do have it, but I'm probably going to wait till I can play it in Poland with the actual, creators. Craig Rayleigh, have you had a chance to try Wrath of Fire Mountain? It's like mini Blood Rage. I have not. I almost played it at WSBG, I want to say, but I did not table it. Mr. Charles, hey Alex, do you have any insider news about Lazy Squire Games' Ascent Levon Rising? No news about them, unfortunately. That's an interesting one. I really like Lazy Squire Games, but I understand people hating them for any reason. I happen to like the guy behind it on a personal level, and I don't know what will happen. I know that with Wild Ascent, there was a lot of rumors of that it will never show up, and then it did show up. So I'm hoping that will happen here too. I don't know. Like, something I consistently say is, they keep putting out updates. Once you know it's dead, if you know for sure it's dead, there's no point doing updates. You're just extending the inevitable. Every update is another opportunity for people to yell at you. So I think as long as people are putting out updates, it's usually a good sign that they haven't given up hope. It doesn't mean you're going to get the game. I still think that you're going to get your games. I think you'll get Storm Thunder. I think you'll get Levon Rising. I could be wrong, but for whatever reason, it doesn't strike me as one that you're not getting the game, but I might just be stupid. I might be, I don't know. Kevin, I was disappointed in Ivy Studios' last game as it was not very Columbine friendly and they don't seem to care, so I've backed off their games. Sorry to hear that. I apologize, Kevin. Not anything I did, but, nonetheless. Vandalist, balance is a great thing. There was a video where they talked about video games and people felt that weapon was imbalanced and the stat showed it was better, that the weapon stats were the same. Interesting. I think balance is a good thing. I just think that sometimes a lack of balance can be fun. The tricky part is I find the lack of balance works best in cooperative games or solo games, because when you find that super overpowered combo, at least it's not at the expense of the other players, it's you having fun. Although even there it's risky because you want to avoid people having a strategy that is the dominant strategy. But I think that, like I love Blood Rage. One of the reasons I love Blood Rage is because Blood Rage is crazy in terms of the things you can do and pull off, but almost everything is overpowered, which is balance. But in order to do that, like the closer you can strain yourself to the math of the game, the more accurately you can guarantee balance. The more you let players do crazy things, the harder it is to guarantee balance. And that therefore there is a correlation between less crazy things and more balance. It doesn't mean you can't have balance with crazy things. It just means it's harder. That's why even in Blood Rage you have like the Loki strategy. That's like a concept. Like it is. I have answers as to why the Loki strategy doesn't bother me as much, but it's definitely the single most powerful aspect in the game. Chris, Alex, have you played Wrath of Wistar? I really enjoy the game, and Simone Luciani is one of my favorite designers. I have not. I know Meg has the game and wants it to play it at some point, so whenever she reads the rules, that will happen. That's her collection, which I'm happy to play it whenever. I wasn't pulled in by it for some reason. I think the theme just didn't do anything for me. Vendolos, when they changed the sound, they fixed the unbalance. That's funny. Walter Mack, it was nice to see Devin Norris back in the channel recently. I think he did a preview at Analog Traz. He did do a preview. It was weird. It was from a year ago, but they pushed off the campaign long enough that you get to see Devin again. Craig Rayleigh, I got it late. You got me interested in Vindication. I really enjoyed it. What were your thoughts on Vestige? I have not played Vestige yet. When I play it, I'll let you know. I will be playing it, so I will have coverage for you while the campaign is active. Mike, my pledge for Tantalus Hustle on expansion just arrived. Listening to the stream. Looking forward to a campaign of this one. Interesting. Enjoy. Duke Johnny, Alex coming to Poland. Yes, I'm coming Sunday, assuming I find my passport. If I don't find my passport, I don't know what I'm doing at all. So we shall see. Brian, that was a good article from Jamie that talked about how perfectly balanced game is boring. I would love to see that. I love Jamie's articles, and I think that the amount of times I align with Jamie on what he says or does, I love it. And so I would love to read that article because I think perfectly balanced games are boring. That's not true. I think it's very hard to achieve a perfectly balanced game with the kind of things I like in games. Is it possible? Yes, I just think it's very hard. Walter, all info servers under Wild Descent is still very helpful. Most likely new updates will pop up today or tomorrow. And still very helpful. What do you mean still very helpful? I'm not sure what that means. Duke Johnny, I'd love a chance to shake hands if possible, but do enjoy your trip and stay in Wrocław. I will be in Wrocław this week. If there's a chance to shake hands, by all means, you have my email. It's in the bottom of every single video. I'm not averse to it if it can work with my schedule. I'm very averse to it if I can't make it work with my schedule. Prior, BoardGameCo, any standouts that you're looking forward to PAX U? I haven't even looked at any of the lists. I am just trying to keep my head above water while I juggle too many things at all given points. Walter, I'm bringing Tiny Epic Vikings on the road with me this weekend. What do you think of that one since you like Blood Rage? Tiny Epic Vikings was my favorite Tiny Epic game, but it's been a while since I played it, so I don't know. But it's been my favorite one. Walter, oops, hopeful. And still very hopeful. Yes, hopeful versus helpful makes a difference. Mr. Charles, Oathsworn or Frosthaven, if I can only choose one. For me, Oathsworn, but that answer is biased by having given the Frosthaven, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion series 300 hours of my life. So I've gone through that game heavily. I've seen a lot more of it, and that does have me a bit more burned out on it. Now, again, it's a good game. I think Frosthaven, Oathsworn, Frosthaven, Gloomhaven, all that, they're great games. I highly recommend checking out a video on the channel where we cover Gloomhaven versus Oathsworn way back when. It was Play This, Not That with myself, Meg, and Devin quite some time ago. Oathsworn versus Primal. Primal. I love Primal. I cannot tell you. Primal, the only reason, Primal is not going to be my number one game of all time. It's not. I'll tell you that right now. I'll save you the trouble. But the only reason it's not my number one game of all time is because there is a higher burden to set up, to checking where you are, to like, even if you're doing the single shot adventures, like to play Primal as a single shot challenge, for example, still to me takes about like 20 minutes or so, maybe more than that, probably like 25, 30 minutes of like setting up the game and then building my decks and characters and all that. And so that aspect of setup, tear down, maintenance and all that does take away from the game for me. 100% it does. But it's still fantastic. I think Primal is amazing. I would be shocked. I haven't done my top 100. I'd be shocked if it's not in my top 10. But yeah, it's a great game. Primal's a great game. I love Primal. I'm a big fan of it. Real Sphinx, they don't have sent you Vestige yet. They did not. I will be playing Vestige before the cat. Well, I will be playing Vestige. I will be covering Vestige. Let's say that. I will be covering Vestige. That's all I'm going to say there. We'll figure that out. But that's what I'm very excited about. I'm also excited about the Waste of Parts. If you want to see one that I'm very excited about, check out from, in fact, we've been talking about Icefair and Guard a lot, from Stonebound, oh my gosh, what's the name of the company? What's the name of the company? Icefair and Guard is from, I'm blanking on the name. But from them, they have the Waste of Parts. What is that freaking name? Oh my gosh, it's going to bother me. Someone post in chat because it's going to drive me nuts. But Icefair and Guard. Is it not? It's not Stonebound. Doesn't make sense. Whatever it is. Anyways, yeah, they have the Waste of Parts coming to GameFound. I have not played it. Sky Kingdom, thank you. That was bothering me so much I couldn't move on. But anyways, the Waste of Parts looks like the kind of game I'll enjoy. I like the art. I like the components. I will let you know when I play it. I might hate it, but right now I'm very excited for it. There's also there's a few campaigns coming that I'm very excited for. Some are public, some not so. I'm excited for Master of Orion. I want to play that as soon as I can, but I'm just, again, trying to do too much at any given point. But what else have I played recently? I played Seven Wonders Duel, which I really, the Lord of the Rings Duel, which I just put up a review for today. You can check that out. Other games I enjoyed recently, Harmonies, you have a review coming for that one soon. That's a pretty strong highlight this year. Spectacular is a pretty strong highlight. I forgot about Brink. Brink was like, I was thinking of like the various games I gave 5 to 5s to this year, and I forgot that I gave Brink a 5 to 5. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. But Brink was a lot of fun. I like that one a lot. Since it's been a bit since you did a review of Compile, does it hold up with multiple plays? I have to play it multiple times to let you know. So I never reviewed Compile. So that I gave brief thoughts on having played Compile at PAX Unplugged last year. Have you played Ankama's Rune Planet? What is it called? Sorry, I can't see this because of the heart. Rumble Planet. It looks really fun. I haven't seen too much on it. I liked the look of Rumble Planet. I haven't played it though, so I don't know much about it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and close things up now. It's a little early, but I think that between the fact that I'm caught up in questions and then more importantly, I need to go find my passport, and that's been stressing me out. I only realized I don't have my passport like 5 minutes before going live, and that's been the only thing on my mind for the past hour because I'm supposed to travel and I don't know where my passport is, and I moved. That's the thing that gets you, like, when you, it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. So I'm going to go hunt for my passport, and we'll see. Maybe I'll post a comment on this video later. If you watch this video in the future, maybe I'll post a pinned comment saying whether I found my passport or not. Kevin! Oh my gosh, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. How you doing there? Well, now I can't go. Now. Well, anyway, so we're going to go back to Kevin. How have things been? Kevin, have you played Shuffleboard? Have you played Shuffleboard? Like, I did a Shuffleboard review of a Shuffleboard thing that I think is, if you like Crokinole, I think you'd like the Shuffleboard game. But, Kevin, you're a prince. Waiting till the last minute so I can't leave. That feels cruel. In a good way. Also, thank you. Walter Mack, thanks again, Alex. Much for the chat open. Have a safe. Thanks for the time and attention. Have a great and safe trip, brother. I just feel guilty leaving now, Kevin. What did you do to me? Anyways, a full-size version. You have a full-size version, of course you do. So funny is that I want to play a full-size version of Crokinole, of Shuffleboard again, now that I've been enjoying the mini-size version, because I love the mini-size version. It's not so small. It feels like playing Crokinole. That's what it feels like. It feels like playing Crokinole, but with different bits. I play that every single day, almost. Like, I have so many plays logged of it at this point, but I'm curious whether I'll enjoy full-size Shuffleboard more, less, or the same now that I've tried this one and really gotten into it. I think I have to enjoy it more than I used to, but I still think I'll enjoy. There's something about the smaller pucks that feel like a Crokinole disc that's very enjoyable. But anyways, and Karom is still your number one, Mr. Charles? We'll have to try that then at some point. Anyways, I'm going to go close this off and look at my passport. I appreciate all of you. Thanks so much for being here, and I will potentially try to stream next week if I can make the hours work out, because it would be 7 o'clock. There might be a stream. There might be a stream next week. I make no guarantees. We'll see. If there is, there is. If there's not, there's not. But otherwise, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from BoardGameCo. And as always, I hope you have a good one.